Hello everyone, and welcome back to 2000 horsepower career mode. So this time out then, round 2 with the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we had a pretty good result in the first race. We managed to get best of the rest in P7, so that's going to be our target here, although I think I am going to struggle on this track because it is very traction focused, and we know that AI are very, very good on the power with the 2000 brake horsepower under your foot. So I've already done the practice stuff then. Managed to get all of the points available, and I've actually done an upgrade for the next race, so we'll be getting a rear downforce upgrade and a weight reduction for the next race, but nothing at all for this race. But actually none of the other teams have done anything for this race either, so that's all even, so the cars will be exactly the same performance as they were in the last race. Let's have a look at the grid then. So we've got actually Max Verstappen on pole then, with 2,000 horsepower. He's managed to take pole position, and only by, less than a tenth to Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton up next then, again, less than a tenth. Vettel, a few hundredths behind. And then we go down to Bottas, Albon, Butler and Weber. And then there is me in P11 then. I did manage to get out qualified by my teammate. Unfortunately, he managed to get P10. I was just behind, just less than a tenth, about half a tenth I think it was in the end, down into P11. It does mean I get a choice of the tyres at the start, but that is not really what I wanted. I want to try and qualify a little bit better. This is the lap then. So again, 2,000 horsepower brings us to almost 400 kilometers an hour. I am running a very slightly higher downforce setup than the standard in this particular race because I wanted a bit more grip. I didn't want to be sliding around so much. With this power, you need a bit of grip, particularly out the corners. So that was really how I tried to combat the AI. And you see me there losing time in the straight to Leclerc. Of course, having more downforce, having more drag is even bigger penalty with 2,000 horsepower because you're going that much faster. But I'm hoping that it will give me better exits, and I'm certainly better here. You can see the top left there, actually in P1, the exit that corner was actually fastest of anyone up to that point. And Verstappen though just edging ahead of me now then, so a good start to the lap, will certainly take it. Pretty solid all round, still in P6 at the moment in the top left, just on for it, down to P7, getting also down, but this is the corner where the AI gained hugely on me. I don't know if I'm a bit too cautious on the exit, on the power or whatever, but down to P8, and I expect we go P9, we're just losing pace to guys around us, or ghosts around us if you like. Going a little bit deep there, but we'll get away with that and get the power nicely. Still in P8, so we're doing okay for now. This corner is very, very tricky. It is not flat with 2,000 horsepower, and I actually run a little bit wide. Unfortunately, I do just miss my apex, and that did cost me time. Currently P7, but I think we're going to lose a bit of time down this straight. Yes, we are indeed, down to P8, so just my straight line speed there suffering into the final turn, then trying to get it all slowed down, but turning too early, hit the curb, and that is going to cost us through the final turn, which is unfortunately P9, P10, P11. So pretty much 2 or 3 positions were lost in that final turn alone then, just hitting that curb. You want to try and avoid the curb if possible. And you see me there with my Halloween helmet. I'm still running it from Halloween when I did that stream. And there we go, then that's confirmation. Less than a tenth behind my teammate. Very, very close indeed. It's actually a lot closer than I thought I would be. I thought the AI would be quite a bit ahead of me. I've actually turned up the AI slightly from the last race as well. So there it is. But anyway, here's the strategy then. It's going to be coming on P6. And then going 8 laps on the medium tyre, soft tyre to medium tyre. We are going to start on the soft tyre. We don't want to start on the hard, that would be just too slow. So here we go then on the grid. We've got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights and P11 on the grid. And they're away. Slightly slow reaction time from that particular start. Then weren't entirely happy with it. And that is why, lots of wheel spin as well. That is why Ricciardo there, and we actually had a bit of contact with Ricciardo actually. That's why Hulkenberg managed to fly past us. We were trying out braking then down the inside nicely. We've now got Ricciardo on our inside, giving a bit of room. And we've got Weber up our inside. We're going to try going the outside of him, which we managed to do. Better exit just about, even with 2,000 horsepower. Again, the AI effectively are traction control, so I expect them to get better exits. And they brake very early there, so I dive up the inside, and we will certainly take that. That was 2 positions there, and puts us all the way up to P8. So despite a little bit of slow reaction off the start, we actually end up gaining a few positions. And we've got Sergio Perez up next. We're nice and close. Are we going to dive to the inside? Of course we are. Oh, wow. That was incredibly close to a bit of front wing damage. Don't forget, we are running simulation damage, so even a little tap on the front wing will break it. And looks like Lando Norris managed to follow us through, our teammate then. So it's currently McLaren at best of the rest once again, up to P7 and P8, which is absolutely what we want as a team. So that is good, and I am running best of the rest. And I want to see if I can stick to Albon here. I'm actually not losing too much time to the guys ahead. I did get out qualified by a little way to them, but at the moment not too far back really. Clinging on to them quite nice. I'm just waiting for a gap. Here it is, just under 0.6 of a second then after 2/3 of a lap. You think they'd pull away a little bit more than that, so I'm currently pushing quite hard to try and see if I can stick with them and certainly get some DRS come lap 3, but they've already pulled away a little bit, so I think I might struggle with that. And we did actually learn, just remembering in qualifying, that was pretty good. Lots of wheel spin on the exit. That's going to compromise me, but we should be okay to land on us. We pulled enough of a gap, and we did actually learn that I am the best in the first couple of corners, or first sector or so. That is where I am at my best. Skip ahead then to lap 3. This is the first DRS lap, so you see we have lost a little bit of time to Albon. Not a huge amount, but just enough to push us out of distance, and that we are now bunched up to the cars behind. Lando Norris is all over us. He's going to get some DRS, but he is not going to be close enough to take it this time. And going down to lean, see the bottom right there, using lots of lean and being careful about ERS. We want to make sure we've got plenty to defend with, particularly as we're running higher downforce, higher drag. We are going to be slow in a straight line, so we are going to need all of the fuel and all of the ERS that we can possibly get our hands on. But at the minute, just trying to keep it steady, just keep ahead of Lando Norris. Bit of wheel spin on the exit, but doesn't cost us too much time. And actually in this race, I will tell you that I was a lot more consistent. I think I'm just getting more and more used to this car, more and more used to 2,000 horsepower in particular. So that enabled me to be a bit more consistent in this race, which was good. But still bunched up to the car behind. And if you haven't watched the first episode of Career Mode, make sure you do watch that. Probably should have said that before you started watching this race. But do make sure you watch it. There will be a playlist that I will be making for each race of the season. Oh wow, a bit of oversteer there in 6th gear. That just got, I think I got a little bit of a curve. Perhaps my rears are starting to overheat slightly. That has cost us some time, and that has put Lando Norris a bit closer to us. Looking on the minimap in the bottom left, he is close to us, then he is to the car behind. Getting also down a little bit too early on the brakes there, trying to get an exit there. Nice clean exit. We may well need that going to rich and overtake mode. He is going to get DRS though, but I think he might be close enough to. Yes, he's only 2/10 back, and look at that. He has got less downforce, less drag than us, and he's got DRS. Nice and easy. I thought about a lunge up the inside there, but thought better of that. That is not going to end well. But look at that. We're basically pushing him through the corner there. Really, really close. But if we do manage to give him the position, unfortunately, we're going to have to defend now, though, to Sergio Perez, who's all over us then, and we just about managed to do that. He just pushed him to the outside, and he's not quite going to get the cut back, get a good enough exit. And at the bottom right there, we're just choosing strategy. My engineer advising, I actually can't remember what we started the race, but engineer advising me there to change strategy, but I stick with a lap 5 pit. And just trying to, no, I think, yeah, so I think I just actually chose I was going to pit 1 lap earlier. Interestingly, but we'll see how we get on. I thought that was me keeping my same strategy at the time, but we will see how we get on for now. And look at that, Lando Norris already pulls a huge gap. That's because we had to defend, and we've had a little bit of a scruffy lap since then, so he's actually pulled away hugely. But to be honest with you, I don't mind that too much. I'm very much a team player in this career mode, so as long as it's him, I don't mind too much. And if I'm a bit slower than him, I'm happy for him to pull away, and for us as a team to get some good points. But actually my engineer just told me, unfortunately, that he has got a problem. I don't know what the problem is, but he is a little bit slow, which is why I've been able to get really close to him. Don't know if it's going to be a straight line speed thing or what, but he is not as quick as he was through the first half of the lap. We're going to try and get him nice and clean now. We've got a bit of a gap to Perez behind. See if we can get past him nice and easy. He's got an issue, so hopefully he won't fight us too hard, but he is going to defend a little bit. Actually, I thought he'd have worse straight line speed than that. So we're going to try and break him on the outside, then get it all slowed down. Can we? No, we can't. Lock the inside tyre. We run wide, try and get back on the track, which we managed to do. Lots of overseeing doing it, and we actually just managed to keep our position as well then. I think we must have compromised Norris as we came back on the track, but wow, we managed to keep our position, but that was a little bit lucky there. If anything, see there, back on board as the replay of Norris to see me lock on my inside tyre, just running wide there, and I disappear from the screen, and suddenly I'm back and just coming on the apex, and he was actually very kind to me there. I think in real life he probably would have run it on the outside, but he was being very, very kind to me, and he did just give me enough room. He did have an issue, mind you, so maybe that was why, but there we go. On to lap 6 now. So this was, we're going to pit on lap 5. We decided to stretch it another lap. We decided to stretch it yet another lap because we're doing a Lewis Hamilton here. How tyres feel okay. My engineer's been telling me, come in this lap, but my tyres feel fine. They feel good. They're soft tyres. They're not too worn. So I've been staying out. Sergio Perez has just pit behind us on lap 6. So I think we will pit this lap. This will be our in lap. We don't want to push it too far. We are now halfway through this race on the softer tyres. So hopefully that isn't going to cost us too much time. Sergio Perez was about a second behind us when he pit. And you see we have managed to build a bit of a gap to the other guys behind us. So we have managed to find some pace. I think potentially I was being a bit too conservative on the tyres there. And the AI now have got more worn tyres than me. I'm not too sure, to be honest. But we will certainly take it. We've certainly got a bit of pace. And actually it looks like on the menu up there, Lando Norris is actually retiring as he's just got overtaken by a load of cars. And yes, indeed, Lando Norris is out of this session. That is unfortunate. We knew he had an issue anyway, so we probably would have been outside the points. But Lando Norris out of this race, not ideal. So it is now up to me. I am now the lone McLaren driver, and it is up to me to score as many points as I can. I'm up in P4 at the moment, but that won't last. It's because some of the guys ahead of me have pit. So we are now just fighting for best of the rest with Sergio Perez, who has already pitted. You see our rear tyres are quite worn there, so we have pushed it pretty much as long as we can. So to my engineer, I am going to box this lap. We will come in this lap for the set of the medium tyres. We've had a pretty good in lap. It wasn't incredible, but it was clean enough. And coming into the pit lane now, then let's hope we can come out back ahead of Sergio Perez. Get also down for the pit line nicely. And here we go then, you see some of the guys pitting ahead of me, but that is not a concern for me. There's some guys coming in behind me, hopefully they don't hold me up. And actually, my Halloween helmet goes really well, doesn't it, with my car? It's basically the same colour, looks quite cool as well. And there we go, they didn't actually manage to get held up at all by the force in, which is very, very helpful indeed. So we are now going to come out of the pits. Where is Sergio Perez? Can't see him yet, there he goes then. So he did manage to gain probably, well, he was actually behind us, wasn't he? He was about a second behind us, so now he is probably best part of 2 seconds ahead of us. So actually he's gained about 3 seconds on us then on that in lap, so maybe my tyres are more worn. I think it's after the last race my tyres felt destroyed, and this race they felt okay, so I decided to stay out, but that was clearly the wrong decision, as he has managed to jump us by quite some way actually. So we have now got some work to try and catch back up to him. And it is 1.9 seconds at the end of the first sector then, so we did lose quite a bit of time, but we are going to have fresher tyres to go to the end. We're going to have 1 lap fresher tyres, and we did manage to pull away from him very slightly in the first stint. So with lighter fuel, with fresher tyres, we should in theory be able to rein him in. If we have a really, really nice clean couple of laps, we should be able to just about rein him in. We also need to keep our tyres in good condition though, don't we? Because we probably going to be overtaking towards the end of this race, so we do need to make sure we've got good enough tyres once we get there. And almost a 300 km/h corner this is in 2,000 horsepower. And it's actually interesting, I think I might have said this in the last race, but this looks normal to me now. This is what I'm used to, so you know, I've just raced this and I'm commentating it, so it very much looks normal. But when I turn it back down to the normal horsepower, half a horsepower, 1,000 horsepower, suddenly it looks really, really slow. So yes, it's quite an interesting one, but I'm sure for you guys it still looks very quick. Got a few guys into the pits, and our gap to Perez ahead is 1.5 seconds. We've gained half a second in the last 2 sectors alone, as we now skip ahead to lap 11. You can see we managed to catch right back up to him, which is nice. We have now got 3 laps. We've got lap 12, 13 and 14. 3 laps only to overtake him. We managed to catch him though just half a second behind. Now we have got DRS. I think we'll be too far back, and don't forget we are running higher downforce, but look how much later then we can brake, virtually touching him through the first turn. We are running high downforce, we are running higher drag, which means that we are struggling in a straight line here, even with DRS. Look at that, he's got better exit as well, being AI, being traction control himself effectively. He gets a really nice exit and gets, I think he might be running a lower downforce setup, like lower than standard, and I'm running higher than standard, so he is very, very quick in a straight line. So we need to work very hard at this middle sector to stick nice and close to him and hope we get good enough exit, and then we can hopefully get him down some of the straights. And you see me there in the bottom right, conserving my ERS, conserving my fuel. I've only got 0.2 lap of fuel, haven't actually got that much fuel at all. I was actually having to be quite conservative in this race in terms of fuel. I just wasn't enjoying it. I think maybe the 2,000 horsepower was consuming quite a lot of fuel, so have to be pretty conservative, but we get through the race in the end, but just have to be conservative for now. And bit of oversteer though, that has cost me time. I was looking at trying to get past him, and that has probably cost me enough. I'm about half a second back, but it's close enough to get DRS certainly, but I need to be so close. I need to be basically touching him. Mind you, we have had a good last corner there. We are now very, very close to him indeed. And will we be able to make it stick down this next straight? This is nice and close. This is the closest I've been. Need a nice clean exit. Little bit of kick of oversteer, but it's very minor. I was correcting that very, very quick. DRS is now open. We're using rich fuel. Overtake us. Absolutely everything the car can give me. Just 4 tenths back then. Can we get past him? No, look at that. We barely gained there, but look how much later we put in the brakes and actually lock the inside wheel. We actually had to turn out the corner very slightly. I was a bit scared of losing my wing. I knew that I had a great opportunity to overtake him. And that is that just shows us the size of the challenge that we've got. We were only 4 tenths back as we crossed the line, and we still weren't able to make a move on him. So we need to keep it super, super clean. We basically need a perfect lap. We're half a second back at the moment. We need a perfect lap. We need to stick as close as possible. We might be able to get him down into here. We're too far back this lap. Next lap, will we be able to get him down into there? I'm not sure. But we are quick there. We are higher downforce. We're very quick through those faster corners. And I think we now overtake us till they need that little bit of lock up, but it doesn't push him wide, unfortunately. I got very excited there. I thought this could have been it. But no, I think we are now overtake us to the end. As I said, we've only got 1.5 laps to go. We should be able to do rich mixture on every single straight to the end. So we are now not now concerned about conserving battery, conserving fuel. We are now just concerned about Sergio Perez being ahead of us. He is currently the best of the rest in P7. And we are very, very close to him now. A little bit wide. I pick up the dirty areas, get close to him. That pushes me right out wide. Poor exit. Unfortunately, that is not the perfect lap we needed. We're actually now further back from him compared to last lap, I think. So nice clean final turn there. We'll see if we can do it. I don't know if he's having to conserve. Maybe he was running full fuel last time and now he's having to conserve. I don't know. So I want to just keep the pressure up. And just about half a tenth further back. So That little bit of time, I think, will push us far too far back. But oh no, we have a lunge. We have a lunge up the inside there. I managed to make the move stick, and that was a super late move. And I think we actually even backed out of the brakes to make that one work. Even I didn't expect that one. I've already raced this race, and I'm commentating this one. I thought it was the next lap that happened, if I'm being honest. So I actually didn't know it was going to happen then. On board with Sergio Perez on the replay there. You can see me diving up the inside, and yes, he did actually lose a bit of wing there, but that was his own fault. He just didn't turn out of the corner. He just kept turning into me. So I kept all 4 wheels within the bounds of the racetrack, and we will take that position then. And there it is, P7, best of the rest, P1 for Formula 1.5. And we will take that P7. That's 2 P7s in a row. That is good job. Fortunately, Lando Norris did retire from whatever issue he was having, but we will certainly take P7 ourselves. And there it is, confirmation then. 19 seconds off the lead, but actually my fastest lap was better than most of the guys behind, so I actually had better pace. As I said, I did turn up the AI slightly from the last race. I just turned them up very slightly harder, and managed to outpace them nicely. So now I'm getting used to the 2,000 horsepower. We'll see what we can do in the next race, and with our updates as well, maybe we'll be able to challenge Red Bull ahead of us. But there's confirmation of the championship standings then. 14 points, 2 times 7 is 14, in 7th position, unsurprisingly. Actually only 4 points back from Alex Albon, so we might have half a chance at him. And of course, we have got Sergio Perez and Lando Norris behind us as well. That's about it for this video then, I think. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I thank you for watching. Bye-bye.